Hi, my name is Samantha. I'm 38 years old. I'm part of the community department here at Yelp, and I'm a senior community manager for New York City, Queens. I am co-lead for one of our YERGs, Yelp Parents. And what Yelp Parents does is provide resources and events where we could learn and support on how to become better parents. Today's theme is Be Tenacious. What does tenacious mean to me? To me, being tenacious means being tough and being prepared to fight. Fight for yourself, fight for what you believe in, and fight for the people you love. I'm the eldest of 3 girls, all now very strong women, and I'm 3rd generation Northern Italian on my mother's side and 3rd generation Sicilian and Greek on my dad's side. There's a whole lot of Mediterranean vibes here, and let me tell you, that feistiness has served me my whole life. From the moment I was born, I had to fight. I was actually born blue, as there was not enough oxygen getting to my blood. And at 9 months old, I had open heart surgery where my arteries were rerouted so my heart could function. I had to learn how to advocate for myself while going from a child with a heart condition and growing up to an adult with congenital heart disease. While navigating through this and life in general, I happened to stumble upon a man by the name of Dan. Actually, he stumbled on me as he's 6'2", big, burly, Scottish, Norwegian, now full-on beard, looks like a Viking. And there I am, tiny, petite, 5 foot even on a good day, little Italian girl. We fell in love, we got married. Because of my heart condition, it was always a question if my heart would be able to handle me being pregnant. At the ripe age of 36, I had a geriatric pregnancy. And in April of 2021, I gave birth to Bruce Alexander Behrens, named after Robert the Bruce, a freedom fighter in Scotland. My blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy is already one of the most determined people I know. My son comes from a long line of fighters, and like me, he has to overcome and fight. My son is neurodivergent and is on the autism spectrum, with his main challenge being speech and language. Being that this is my first child and going through this as an older parent, I had to rely on other people to guide me with his neurodivergent issues. I needed assistance in getting Bruce resources that he needed, and I'm happy to say that Bruce has been progressing so much. He actually said sad the other day and then happy face. It was incredible. And while that process was stressful but relatively seamless, it doesn't always go that smooth. Sometimes you have to fight harder for the people that you love. This particularly was the case when I had to advocate for Dan and his health. In 2017, Dan was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called neuromyelitis optica, or NMO for short. It's very closely linked to MS, or multiple sclerosis, and it affects the ability to walk, and it caused his vision to be blurry because it affects the optic nerve. We were able to find an effective treatment, but it leaves Dan immunocompromised. So this causes a lot of issues, just navigating the world in general. This caused him to fall actually very ill earlier this year. And it was just a really very scary time. He was debilitated, so I found myself taking charge and advocating. I had to constantly fight to be heard by doctors while challenging and questioning their decisions. So given that I've had to do this pretty much my whole life, I'm a lot more comfortable talking and advocating to physicians or anybody in the medical field. Dan is a little bit more reserved and is not as assertive as maybe he should be when it comes to these issues. And so I felt it was necessary that I had to speak up for him. And because I was assertive in making sure Dan received the proper care, I'm happy to say we're on the right course of treatment finally, back on track to getting better. I can't help but think how if I didn't step in and advocate for Dan, if he would ever get proper care, or where would he be today? Being from Queens, I often wonder what kind of queen I relate to. I like to think maybe I'm the Queen of Hearts to reflect on what I've gone through with my heart condition, or maybe I'm more of a warrior queen because of what I've had to fight for. Whether it's either of those, it just goes to show that you don't have to be a 6-foot Viking to reach the heights of one of our Yelp core values. You can also be a little Italian girl known as the tenacious Queen of Queens. As a fan of musical theater and all music in general, I happen to have stumbled upon a little Broadway show called Moulin Rouge. And the theme of Moulin Rouge is the greatest thing that you will ever learn is to be loved and to be loved in return. In a way, that's how Dan and I show each other love. And it brings to mind my love of UK pop and Cheryl Cole and this song, Fight for This Love. So let me ask you, what do you love? What would you fight for?